The saber-toothed tiger clan is looking for a new leader. Gather supplies and attract mammoths, but most importantly, keep Honga the tiger away. This gives you the best chance of becoming clan leader. Set up the game area according to the instructions and distribute the cards and figures. Each player selects a color. Play in a clockwise direction. Use tactics and skills to get as many victory points as possible. Each point lets you move your scoring marker one field forward. Players place their action disc on one of the round spaces. The hands on the action disc lead to a variety of actions. Depending on the placement and orientation of the actions on the game board, you can keep Honga on his field and also carry out the actions, which include collect mushrooms, look for berries, fish in the lake, draw water from the spring, comb through the thick forest, attract mammoths, pay homage to the old nature gods, and barter. If at least one hand points to a field, you may carry out the selected action. For collect raw materials, you receive 1 unit of the raw material per hand pointing to it, and move your marker on the player tray forward appropriately. For example, 2 hands on the mushroom field means you move your mushroom marker forward 2 fields on the player tray. For comb through the thick forest, take 1 bonus card for each hand. You may look at the bonus card or cards but cannot use them this turn. For attract mammoths, it will cost you a mushroom, a fish and a berry to attract 1 mammoth, which is then placed on the first mammoth field. If there is already a mammoth there, then all mammoths are pushed 1 space further. If a mammoth is pushed from the last space, the player with the color that matches it places it on their player tray. The player with the majority of mammoths on the mammoth field wins the valuable mammoth tooth and may draw the red action cards that promise more victory points. For pay homage to the old nature gods, you move your caveman 1 step further for each hand. The first player to reach the last step receives 5 victory points. All other players receive victory points corresponding to the number on their step. Then all cavemen are placed back on the lowest step. If hands on the action disc point to the bartering space, you may redeem the corresponding number of face-up barter cards for the raw materials depicted and receive the specified victory points. If you need to hand over mammoths for a barter, take them from your player tray or the mammoth field and place them back on the depot board. At the end of your turn, you draw a new action disc and the next player takes their turn. Then the barter cards are filled again. In general, for raw materials that you receive, your marker is moved forward on the player tray. For raw materials that are paid or handed over, the marker is moved back. For received victory points, the scoring marker is taken out of the cave and moved forward on the fields around the game board by the number of victory points. A maximum of 2 bonus cards can be played per turn. Some are for raw materials, some allow you to place an extra hand, or you may directly receive victory points. Check the instructions to learn what each of the symbols mean. If you have forgotten to place a hand on Honga, he comes to you and eats your food. Place Honga on your player tray and move the marker on the uppermost raw material back by 1. This continues round after round. First, Honga eats the raw materials from top to bottom, and then if all materials are gone, you must give him the mammoths. Honga stays with you until you can use a bonus card to get rid of him, or another player places a round tile without a hand pointing to the Honga field. The play continues until a player reaches a certain number of points, which is dependent on the number of players. The round is played to the end and the player with the most victory points becomes the new chief of the saber-toothed tiger clan.